The world is in chaos. The Treaty of Versailles has pressured Germany so much that the nation is suffering from poverty. Their pride is trampled. England and France are in a "we won" mood, but struggling with their own problems. America watches from afar, in a "why should I care" mode. The Soviet Union is quietly gaining strength under Stalin's iron fist. Japan is dreaming of an empire in Asia. In Italy, Mussolini is shouting, "I will revive Rome." But the main issue is in Germany. Hitler is stirring up the crowds in a beer hall. "We will make Germany great again." And the people believe in this because they are hungry, because they are angry, because they are waiting for a spark. 1939. The world is like a powder keg. The wounds of the First World War are still bleeding. Economies have collapsed. Nations are angry. But on the other hand, technology has exploded. Tanks, planes, propaganda machines. While civilization reaches the skies on one side, it sinks into the mud on the other. Ideas scream for freedom, but dictators roar from podiums, mesmerizing crowds. Everything seems wonderful, but something is missing. War. The world was filled with tension like never before. It was just waiting for a small spark for a big explosion. So who would strike this spark? Of course, Adolf Hitler. Hitler does not stop. First, he swallows Austria, and no one says anything. Then he grabs Czechoslovakia. Still no reaction. But on the 1st of September 1939, he invades Poland. This is the final straw. England and France declare war on Germany. But it is too late. Hitler's Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War, crushes Poland in a month. Tanks, planes. Everything is so fast that no one understands what is happening. But wait, there's something strange. The Soviet Union shares Poland with Hitler through a secret agreement. Stalin says, "I'll take a slice of the pie too." The world watches the dance of two monsters. Hitler does not slow down. In 1940, he swallows Denmark and Norway. Then Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and the biggest bite, France. France, the hero of the First World War. But this time, unprepared. German tanks bypass the Maginot Line and enter Paris in a few weeks. France falls, and Britain is left alone. Now, it's Britain's turn. But the British are not an easy target. Airstrikes on England begin. The Battle of Britain. But the English grit their teeth. The Royal Air Force pushes back the German Luftwaffe in the sky. Hitler stumbles for the first time. Hitler does not give up. In 1941, he makes the greatest mistake in history. He attacks the Soviet Union. Operation Barbarossa. 3 million soldiers, thousands of tanks, aircraft. The Germans advance with lightning speed, but the Russian steppes are another world. Winter is coming. Mud is coming. Russian resistance is coming. Stalin orders, "We will not take a step back." At the gates of Moscow, Germans are freezing, starving. The Soviets are slowly regrouping. Japan enters the stage at this moment. Another storm is brewing in the Pacific. Japan is in pursuit of oil and raw materials. 7th of December, 1941, Pearl Harbor. Japanese planes are devastating the American Navy in Hawaii. America says, "You can't do this to us," and plunges into the war. Now this is a full world war. Japan is raging like a storm in Asia. The Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia. But America is gradually recovering. They deliver the first blow to Japan in the Battle of Midway. The turning point is Stalingrad. Let's return to Europe. Hitler is putting everything on the line to take this city, but the Russians are saying, "This is ours," and resisting. House by house, street by street, battle. The Germans are trapped in the siege. Winter intervenes again. In 1943, the German army surrenders. Stalingrad, the turning point of the war. The Allied powers, that is, the Allies, are now gaining the upper hand. D-Day and the beginning of the end. 1944, the Allies launch a counterattack. June 6th, Normandy invasion. America, England, Canada. Tens of thousands of soldiers land in France. Germans are trapped on two fronts, Russians in the east, Allies in the west. Hitler, like a madman, he is shouting, "No one can stop me." But the reality is different. In 1945, the Russians enter Berlin. Hitler commits suicide in his bunker. On the 7th of May, 1945, Germany surrenders. The war in Europe ends. The final act in the Pacific. But Japan is still resisting. America says, "This can't go on." On the 6th and 9th of August 1945, atomic bombs fall on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The world is in shock. Japan surrenders on the 2nd of September. World War II officially ends. What happened? The world turned into ruins. More than 60 million people died. Cities were devastated. Nations were in distress. But this war changed the world. The United Nations was established. The Cold War began. America and the Soviets became new superpowers. Germany and Japan rose from their ashes. But most importantly, humanity learned a lesson. Such madness must never happen again. Of course, 20 years later with Vietnam, Korea, and so on, it seems humanity hasn't quite learned its lesson. My friend, this is how history is written. The Second World War was a hurricane. No one could stop it until its own fire extinguished. See you in the next story.